Well, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Glorious day here. Today we're going to expand on one of my previous videos around the ultimate trangia setup. One thing I didn't cover off in that video, and what I'm going to do in this video, is the Omnia oven. The Omnia oven's got a bit of a cult status for people who like the outdoors and off-grid living. What it is, it's a stovetop oven. So we'll take it out of the bag and I'll talk you through what it is. So basically it's a lid of which I've got the optional temperature probe, a base plate that sits either on your hob or, as you can see, perfectly on the trangia, and then your cooking ring. I'll just get these out and I'll show you that. Cooking ring which has got a hole in the middle, and the idea is that when it's over a heat source, there's a hole in the base plate as well, that the heat heats the base of the pan and also goes up through the hole, hits the roof of the pan and comes down and forms a chamber of warm air inside of the donut portion. On top of that's the basic kit. On top of that, I've also got the baking tray and the silicone insert. The silicone insert and baking tray are there for two reasons. One, it helps with cleaning, and two, if you've got things directly onto the base of this metal piece, you've got a tendency to burn the bottom of them before the top is correctly baked. So we're going to give this a go today, and I'm going to sort of use it the way I would use it rather than the way a lot of people do baking cakes. When I'm out camping, I'm not baking a cake, I'm not mixing and baking bread. I'm buying part baked things from the supermarket. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to see how well it does these 4 part baked crusty rolls, and we'll reset the camera, get everything set up, and we'll crack on with it, shall we? Right, what we're going to do first, folks, is we're going to try it on meths. So I've got a 4-pack of rolls, so my plan is I'm going to try 2 on the meths, 2 on the gas, compare cooking times and see how long it takes on each and whether the meths or the gas gives the best results. I think I know the answer already, but we'll give it a shot, and you never know, we might be surprised. So the first thing to do is to heat up the base plate. So I've already filled my trangia to full. The instructions say 10 minutes, and depending on the weather that can vary quite dramatically. Obviously if you're cooking outside in cold weather, that 10 minutes can soon turn into 20. So we'll get it lit and we'll get that plate warming. Yep, we've got flame. So we'll stick the base plate on, wait for it to come into bloom, and we'll see where we go. So we'll get the packet open. Oh, as an aside, these were a brilliant little bit of kit. The Victorinox folding kitchen knives. I've got the 2-pack. One is serrated like this one, and one is just an ordinary cutting knife. Ideal for in the cook kit. Really sharp, really good quality, and there's no messing about with pen knives and things. So we'll get a couple of the rolls into the ring. I am using both the silicone tray and the baking rack, and I don't know if you can see, but I would only fit 3 of those rolls in. I'd struggle to get all 4 in if I were attempting to do all 4 together, so that's something else to bear in mind. So we'll save those 2 for the gas. Spread them out nice and evenly. Get the lid on. and we've bloomed and there's heat rising, there's heat on the plate. So we'll stick the Omnia oven on. I will have the temperature gauge to me, but we will I will turn it to you guys so you can see it every now and then. The outdoor temperature at the moment is around about the 25-26 degrees centigrade mark. So we'll see how long it takes to warm up. The instructions say 220 degrees. I believe we're going to struggle to get 220, which makes me think that 10 minutes is probably going to be more like 15. So what I'll do is I'll keep an eye on the temperature, and I'll keep giving you regular updates as we go through and talk you through how long it's taken to actually do. Okay, talk to you shortly. Right, so it was at this point during editing that I realised that the weather had played havoc with my phone and it had overheated, and it hadn't recorded sound for the first part of this video section. All I'm doing here is explaining that the attempts with meths had been abandoned. Now, I wasn't expecting it to be a success, but the flames were coming all the way through the hole in the donut, hitting the lid of the pan and then coming back and actually burning the top of the rolls, to the point where I had to abandon it and take the rolls out before they caught fire. So I've just reset everything and gone on to the gas setup. I've started off on a sort of medium flame, got the heat plate warming up, and towards the end of this section I'll be explaining to you that once it got up to a reasonable temperature I had to turn the gas down again. I'm sorry for the slight mishap with the sound, but it will resume normally very shortly. In all fairness, on the meths, there was starting to be some browning on the bread rolls, so I'm pretty certain, apart from the soot coming up, that's still slightly warm from the meth. So we'll get the pan grips. Black handle on top of the lid does stay at a handleable temperature. It gets slightly warm, but not to the point where you can't actually handle it. Put the rubbish in the pocket so the dogs don't run away with it. And as before, when it gets up to around the sort of 150 degrees centigrade mark, I'll class that as the pre-warming stage, and we'll start the timer at 150 degrees C. I can already tell you this temperature is rising quicker than it did on the meths, but then everything is slightly warm from using it with the meths. Okay, here's hoping to a bit more success with this one, and I'll catch you up shortly. Right then guys, it's around the sort of 4 minutes 30 mark. I noticed the temperature was starting to go above the 220 degree mark as recommended. So I've had to turn the flame down. It's really on quite low at the moment, and it seems to be maintaining the 220. So to me it's looking like once you've got this up to temperature, it could be quite economical on gas. I'll have another quick peek, make sure everything's good. Oh, I might have to come down a little bit more. They're starting to turn very golden. Okay, we'll leave them a couple more minutes, and I think they might be ready. It might not even take the full 10 minutes. So we'll see how they go, and we'll cut one open and make sure it's cooked through. Catch you up shortly. Right then, folks. We're just approaching the 8.5 minute mark, and as you can see, I've got a plate and everything ready because I think we're almost there. Let's have a quick peek. Oh yeah, they're lovely. So I think what we'll do, towards the end I turned the gas down again and maintained it at 200 degrees. So what we'll do is we'll just turn the glass off fully. get the lid off and get the first one of these rolls out and see how well it's cooked. Oh, that is crusty and very hot to the touch. So we'll pin it with a spoon and just check it's cooked through. Oh, I don't know if you can see that, but that is lovely and crusty on the outside and perfectly fluffy on the inside. I would call that a roaring success. So to summarize, forget it with meths. There's no way you're going to use an Omnia oven on a trangia using meths. The residual soot and things that you see on the back of your pan, on the bottom of your pan when you're cooking on trangia with meths, is what will end up all over your food. Sort of knew that anyway, but let's assume I was a total idiot. In terms of cooking on gas, yeah, it's perfect. There's no sort of residue on the top of the bread cobs. I'll take that one out now. Oh, on that one, there's just a little bit of burning where it's been touching the actual funnel that comes through, but nothing that would stop you eating it. So yeah, on gas, I can highly recommend the Omnia oven. It gives you a level of versatility when you're camping that you otherwise wouldn't have unless you were using open fires and Dutch ovens and things like that. It took roughly 9 minutes to cook them, which is not out of the way when you're preparing a meal. Just tie up your trangia so you can't be cooking other things at the same time. But if you've got the setup like mine, and these are going to be eaten with a bowl of soup, I would have the trangia triangle going, heating up the soup, this going, doing the bread rolls, nice bit of butter on the bread rolls, and you're away. A banging snack for lunchtime. Okay guys, hope that was useful for some of you. If so, I would appreciate it if you could like and or subscribe. And remember, just keep on dabbling.